Maybe the garage. All right, you guys. Go check the garage. Okay, let me get to my questions. And let me turn off my music. You're new? Well, welcome to What It Really Takes, the show where we stop pretending life is easy and we actually talk about what things cost people behind the scenes. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern with a new topic each week. Today's topic is what it really takes to keep going when life gets difficult. Not the motivational quote version, not the everything happens for a reason version, but the version where people are real and exhausted and grieving and overwhelmed. The version where you keep moving even when you don't honestly know how. Today I'm joined by two guests. First up will be Tiger Untamed for our opening segment, and then Dab and Scorpion will join us for the second. And in the final segment, we'll bring both guests together for a deeper conversation. As always, quick ground rules. No smoking, no vaping, no drinking alcohol, and no swearing on stream. Please keep the comments respectful and no swearing in chat. Also, none of us are professionals offering medical or mental health advice. We are simply people sharing personal experiences and perspectives. The format is simple. We will break the questions into segments and ask honest questions about experiences people don't usually talk about openly. And if you'd ever like to be a part of a future episode, contact me or Emoji J here or on Instagram. Let's welcome Tiger Untamed. If you could request the box. Hello.
Hey y'all, don't mind me. I'm still new to this app myself, so I don't know how the buttons work over here. They're also shiny.
Exactly. Exactly. So we will
Ooh,
End of the. Oh, there we go. Better?
okay,
Okay.
good.
I will actually have you guys introduce yourself at the end of everything. So let's just dive right in. Uh, when was a time that you realized life had become genuinely difficult for you? Was it one moment or was it slowly built up over time?
Um, Kind of a little bit of both actually. So fun fact when I was like I was in school. I graduated from school. I went straight to college. You know, I had plans. I was like, okay, yeah, I wanted to be like a surgeon and everything. Um, and everything went okay until like my senior year. My senior year. Now this is my first time, like my first go around at college. But but it was the summer before my senior year. I actually walked in and my on my roommate and he had unalived himself.
Oh my goodness.
And and like me, I just like of course I did everything I needed to do. As far as like tried to get him the help that he needed, but it was just too late by the time I got there. But it was more so like the after, more so like the after. Like I honestly didn't process it. Um, I didn't take time to like talk to anybody. I didn't take time to actually just even feel it. And so like I did that, and then I just like I did everything, and then I just went back to class like nothing like normal. Um, then about 6 weeks later, my dad passes away. went home,
I'm
you
so
know, went home,
sorry.
of course, you know, had the services and everything. So we did, you know, we did all the functional stuff. Still, I never processed that either at the time. And then it just kept going and going until one day I just refused to get out of bed at all. And I actually stayed in bed until they basically kicked me off campus.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's why I was like, it was like several events
That rolled into one,
that did
made you
roll in
change.
into that one moment.
Okay. Well, you said that you at first kept going to class. Um, so keeping going looked like that for you at that point, but it looks like it changed over time to, not keeping going. Were you surviving day by day? Did responsibilities force you to keep functioning or to start functioning again?
Um, that's a good question. So, I mean, I think a lot of it was just I didn't like at the time I didn't really just allow myself to work through the emotional side of things. And once and then like the once that moment where I just literally stopped, I would like it was kind of more so I went through a period where I was just going through the motions. I would say I would say responsibilities did have a thing to do with it, but I think there was just a part of me that just kept saying, just just keep getting up, just keep waking up in the morning. You will find your way.
Yeah, yeah, very true. What was the hardest part in the beginning? Was it the emotional, the financial, mental, physical, like the physical, just getting up and doing things, or was it all of it?
It was literally everything. Like I, I think looking back at it now, I'm very well aware that I went through like a very severe case of a depressed state.
Yeah,
Um, but when I was in the middle of it, it was just literally everything just felt exhausted. Everything just felt like I woke up in the morning and there were times when my first thought was like, what's going to happen today? What do you have to deal with today? And yeah, so when I woke up with that kind of mindset, it was just like everything felt like a major task.
very, very fair. Did you feel pressure to stay strong for other people? And do you think that people misunderstood what that strength was supposed to look like?
I think okay, so for the first part, absolutely I had like I did feel a ton of pressure to be strong. And actually the stuff I'm talking about today, I really haven't revealed to my family that this was really what I was going through around the time. But yeah, absolutely. Even like at my dad's funeral, I had people walk up to me and was like, "Hey, you're the man of the house now. You have to be strong for your right." And I was 20 I was in my 20s at the
Oh,
time, so I'm just like,
that kind of pressure.
yeah.
I'm so
And so,
sorry.
but yeah, I did definitely feel the pressure. And when it comes to, I think people have like I won't say that it's like a misunderstanding because there are times when you are called upon to be, to be that person's, to be someone else's like rock or support piece. Um, Although I do feel like it should be done in a more healthy way than what happened to me at the time. I do, and I also believe that it's something that should happen naturally and organically. You shouldn't be like you shouldn't have someone walk up to you and summon you to be this or that. And
Exactly.
so but I think a lot of people they really look at strength in like a one-dimensional manner, because there's also a strength in being vulnerable too, and letting out um those hard emotions to deal with, because um because when you're like facing those kind of emotions head on, if essentially you're kind of facing your inner demons. And a lot of people, they run from that, and that's where so many people tend to struggle for longer periods of time.
Very, very true. Very true. I think there's a big strength in showing vulnerability at the right time, unfortunately. Like
Yeah,
you
right.
there's a time for everything, and sometimes it's not the right time for you to break down, and sometimes it is.
Right.
um, Knowing when that time is and allowing it to happen organically, like you said, is there's a strength in that. What did your worst days look like? Were there moments where you completely shut down, like beyond just staying in bed? Were you not eating, not talking to people?
All like honestly, all the above. There were days there were days when I wouldn't even remember the previous day, because I had shut down so completely.
Fair, fair. What got you through those days?
um Looking back today, I would say there was quite a bit of luck, because most of those days I went through without necessarily probably seeking and getting the help that I probably should have gotten, that would have kind of put me in a more positive direction a lot faster. Um, but if we're talking about recent years, something kind of clicked inside of me that kind of made me realize, hey, I need to take care. Hey, I need to look at myself. I need to, something's not right. I need, I need to do something about it. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in. I'd be stuck in that rut forever, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, very true. Did you ever feel isolated? And did you feel like people knew what you were going through or had no clue?
At the time, no. At the time, no, no. I felt like I did feel isolated constantly, and most people really didn't know um what I was dealing with. Even when even when I started working, like when I started transitioning away and started picking up pieces, a lot of people did not know. Um, kind of like what it took, to get to that point, and then also what I was doing on a daily basis to make sure that I'm moving forward.
Good. What kept you going before things actually started to get better? Hope, responsibility, pure stubbornness?
Mm, specifically, just I would say my journaling and my writing. Like so like when I started getting to the point where where like I said, enough is enough. I need to, I need to get up. When I started feeling those negative emotions, and I knew I needed to find a way to get it out. I started writing. Um,
Okay.
like a lot of times my words and my thoughts would be just kind of like random and a little bit all over the place, but I look at it on paper, but just kind of like finding a way to get it out, to where I feel like I'm expressing it in a way, just kind of helped me um keep going, especially when I was getting to a point where I'm trying to quote unquote fight back or or get back on my feet.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. You are watching What It Really Takes, and today we are talking about what it really takes to keep going when life gets difficult. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Each week we talk about a different topic. We just wrapped up our first segment with Tiger Untamed, talking about the beginning stages of struggle and survival. If this conversation is resonating with you and you'd like to be on a future show, please reach out to me or Emoji J here or on Instagram. If you would like to hop on down, I will have Davin come on up, and then I will have both of you come up in a little bit.
Okay. I'm hoping I'm pushing the right button again. All these buttons are so shiny.
So shiny.
That's
Hello,
what my
Davin
internet
Scorpion.
pulls out.
Yes, yes. So, as I said, we will have introductions at the end. So, we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. We're going to talk about um, more what it is to keep going after you've recognized the struggle. Uh, what is something that people didn't see while you were struggling? Did people assume that you were okay because you were functioning, or did anybody notice what was going on?
Oh, I've always felt that I handled and hid stress fairly well. One of the things that people didn't see was I would cry myself to sleep most nights because it's hard when you're facing these struggles alone.
Very true. Very true. Did you ever get angry at people during difficult seasons or at yourself or just life in general?
All of the above, different times of my life, there have been different struggles where I have also found writing in a journal to help to get those emotions out, to stay sane. And um, if I went and read back a lot of the stuff, I could see how angry I was. I could see how devastated I was in certain situations. It's really a good tool.
It is. It really is. I used to write a lot when I was younger, especially letters to people that I felt helped me say things that I wasn't able to say um, to their face. Uh, what kept you moving when motivation disappeared? Routine, obligation, survival mode?
I'd have to say survival mode and stubbornness, to be perfectly honest. Um, like the time I'm thinking of right now is when I moved out to Alberta to be with my then husband. Um, it was a very quick thing. It was very stressful. Where was I going with that? Um, there was a lot of
Survival
things that
mode.
happened in that situation that I had no control over, but I had to survive because I was alone.
Yeah.
in a new province. I mean, yes, I had relatives near, but not near enough. But
Fair.
yeah, definitely
Yeah,
survival mode.
I get that. I think when it comes, or when it came to my motivation for surviving my struggles in life, the one that I'm thinking about is moving up here. Um, that was survival mode. I don't know, and pure stubbornness. How many times I told myself, if you don't get up and do it, who will?
Yep, absolutely.
If you don't get up and feed your kids, who will?
Yep.
You are
I can't
alone
have
now. It was not only that, it was,
that.
if you don't get up and pay the bills, who's going to keep the lights on? If you don't get up and
Exactly.
eat, how are you going to function? It was every little thing. And it was pure stubbornness and survival mode. It was a very depressed time of my life, but
Yeah,
I'm very thankful for my stubbornness because I wouldn't have gotten through it otherwise. Did you
yeah,
ever feel
absolutely.
guilty for struggling? Like you should have handled things better?
Yes, all the
Where do
time.
you think that pressure comes from?
Um, Perfectionism, being a people pleaser, and just feeling like I've had to work harder than others to get to certain things. That that struggle there. Um, I'm sure I could have handled things better. I know there, for one instance, there was just one stressful situation where I went into work one day and all of my desk contents had been moved into a new desk, and they said they were going to do it for me. They said they did it for me to do it for me, so I didn't have to.
Oh,
I I lost my shit, or I lost it,
yeah.
and I I ended up crying. I was hysterical for a moment. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, why? It wasn't that big a deal.
But, if you were stressed out and in survival mode, any little thing could have pushed you over that edge.
Absolutely.
What is something that you had to let go of in order to survive that time? Any expectations, any relationships, old versions of yourself?
uh, I would say expectations and I don't know. I learned to do things independently this way. It was forced upon me, unfortunately, but I honestly think that it was a good thing. Like, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I have so many people tell me, "Oh, I'm so sorry you went through your accident." And I'm like, I'm not. I was one of those people before my accident that would be like, "Oh, can you do this for me? Oh, can you do that for me?" And then I get into my accident and I literally can't do anything for myself. And that was beyond frustrating to the point where I became this very hyper uh, independent person. And
Yes,
it's like, no, I want to be able to do it for myself. I want to be able to complete it. I want to be able to pay my own bills or move my own furniture, what have you.
exactly.
Did going through difficult times change how you see people? Did anyone surprise you, either positively or negatively?
Absolutely. Um, and in both situations, positively and negatively. I had a friend who, before I was diagnosed, with my chronic pain syndrome, I was supposed to be in her wedding party, and she basically told me that she didn't want me in her wedding party anymore, and because I was so sick. Um, that ended the friendship.
Yeah.
It was very hurtful of her to do that to me. But then there was also like the positive side of things I was going to go to, and I can't think of what it is right now. Nope, it's gone.
What is something that people say to struggling people that actually is not helpful? I know for me,
Oh, there's a lot.
everything happens for a reason.
I mean,
And
I believe that though,
I
to a certain
believe it
degree.
too. But when I'm going through
But to hear
something
it,
difficult, don't tell me because I already know that. I
exactly.
know in the back of my head that this is going to have a reason at some point in some way.
Yep.
In the future, I'm going to look back and go, oh, okay, that's why I had to go through that. But don't tell me that in the moment because that's not helpful. It's not helpful at
Exactly.
all.
Well, and it's like when my father says to me, "Push through the pain." I can't push through the pain any more than I already am.
Yeah,
It's making me physically
yeah,
ill. Like what?
yeah. If you are just joining us, this is what it really takes. And today we're talking about resilience, survival, burnout, grief, pressure, and what it really means and actually means to keep going when life gets hard. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. with a new topic every week. We have heard from Tiger Untamed and now Dad and Scorpion individually. And now we're going to bring Tiger Untamed back up and have both guests for the final segment. And honestly, this is where things get real. Humans spend half their time pretending they're fine and the other half quietly hoping that someone notices that they're not. So having two people to bounce ideas off of is where things get real. So
Absolutely.
was there a moment when you guys realized that you were going to make it through? Gavin?
I wouldn't say any specific moment.
What happened
Honestly, it's a
more
day to day.
slowly?
I kind of, yeah, it's a more day to day thing for me.
Okay. What about you, Tiger?
Um, yeah, I can't really say there's a specific moment either. Um, I think for me, like deep down, I had to have that belief that things will turn around. That the hard times don't necessarily stick around forever. So when I looked at things like that, it kind of made me be able to go through the things that I was going through as well.
I think I had a definite moment when I realized I was going to make it through. Um, I was in the middle of my divorce, and we were at court, and my ex turned and looked at me and said, something to the effect of, because we were going to court for contempt, for his contempt. And he said something to the effect of like, what are you going to present to the judge? And it was then that I realized, oh, I'm gonna be okay. I don't know about him, and I don't have to worry about him, but I'm gonna be okay. I know what I'm doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. So it was definitely one moment for me in my divorce. Uh, who or what helped you most during the difficult times? a person, therapy, creativity, like writing, faith, community, yourself, Tiger?
Mm, I would say creativity. Like I always like I'm always either like dancing out my stress, or I'm writing it out, or some form of expression. And honestly, in fact, I'd say my whole identity as a streamer is basically about me taking my stress and just unleashing it out onto everybody else to in whatever show or whatever performance I'm doing.
Okay. What about you, Gavin?
Um, it was a few different things I would have to say. My parents have been amazing my whole life. They've always tried their hardest to, make things good for us kids and make sure we had what we needed. And yeah, they weren't infallible, but
Right.
they did their best. And now they're in their 70s and they're still there for me.
Yeah.
um, I would also say probably myself, because I had to depend on me.
Yep.
I was the only one who could do it for me. And if I didn't do it, then I was going to be homeless. And I couldn't imagine being able to survive on the streets. So,
Fair.
yeah.
Fair. What did you learn about yourself going through everything? Did you discover strengths you didn't know you had, Gavin?
Absolutely. I now know that I do have the strength to get through anything I face. I just have to
I love hearing that.
utilize all of the right tools to to get me through. And that's whether that's journaling, whether that's like he said, dancing, singing, talking to a friend. Friends have helped me immensely through these hard times. And not even like they don't have to be there financially for me. They're just there for me to talk to and just hold space for me. And I never knew that I would have that in my life, to be perfectly honest. I was a weird kid.
What about you, Tiger?
I'm sorry, I went completely blank for a
What
second.
did you
Me
learn
too.
about yourself while going through everything?
Just I mean, I learned that I really could handle a lot more than I would expect that I would have ever expected for me to, especially now that I'm here today compared to where I was, back then. Um, so it just so with me seeing things on the other side, it's also giving me kind of like another level of confidence where I'm able to look at difficult situations now and know that I can come across it, or know that there are ways for me to troubleshoot and work my way around those times that are in a lot more constructive way than I did back then.
Did surviving difficult seasons change how you approach life now? Are there things that you refuse to tolerate now, Tiger?
It's a little bit of both. It's definitely a
Okay.
little bit of both. Dealing with everything has allowed me to increase some of my awareness, such as like what may my triggers be, what are particular flag behaviors, what's you know what so what should trigger like me to be more vigilant. And I think that has helped me to that has helped me to kind of like help with a little bit more of like setting my boundaries and identify what it is that I will be willing to deal with, as opposed to like, no, 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 you better miss me with that type of elements too.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Davin?
I need you to repeat the question.
Did surviving did surviving difficult seasons change how you approach life now?
Absolutely. I've learned lessons through every difficult thing that I've faced through my life, whether it be job related, relationship related, doesn't matter. It's the same. You learn from these things, and like you were saying, you learn how to set boundaries and how to keep them. And I'm kind of still in that learning how to keep the boundaries thing, but but I mean everything's a work in progress, right? And I don't think anybody is ever fully healed. Everybody needs to always work on themselves.
Very true, very true. I think for me, prior to my divorce, I was a very why does good why do good people have bad things happen to them type of person. And I was always like, oh, why me? Why me? Why me? And then I had my divorce and I kind of changed it to why not me? Why not me surviving? Why not me thriving? And it's changed how I approach life and how I am able to deal with things on a day to day basis. It's much easier for me to let things roll off my back or to say, okay, you know what, this is a hard thing, but we'll deal with this in stages or we'll deal with this tomorrow or what have you. Do you think that struggle changed your relationships with other people, Davin? Did it make you softer, more guarded, more understanding?
Honestly, it probably made me a little bit of everything. Um, when it comes to um, my brain's blanking right now. Like what I had said earlier about the friendship that I lost,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have that friendship at this point in my life, but I know better than to allow somebody to treat me in that way now.
Fair,
I don't know.
fair. What about you, Tiger?
Um, I think it more so I think dealing with everything kind of like showed me, at the time who were truly like my friends or my, or like I say, my chosen family and everything. And also, but and then so I don't think it changed the way I look at relationships per se. I think it just allowed for me to see a lot better and a lot clearer who was really there for me, who hasn't been there for me. So I think I more so like ended up matching the kind of energy that I was seeing, especially with some of those people that like they saw me struggling, and I know that they treated me differently, or they didn't even check to be like, hey, Tiger, F you or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think I think for me, it made me It made me more guarded um, with strangers. And when it comes to people that I allow in my life, it made me softer. Um, my kids, for one, I'm softer towards them. But a stranger on the internet who just, says whatever, I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I just block it out. I've got those guards up. That was not me prior to my divorce, prior to my struggles. It was very easy to trigger me. Um, very easy to upset me, and I was so over that. So it took work, but I built those walls. If someone listening right now felt completely overwhelmed, what would you want them to know, Devin?
I would probably say to them all the cliches that people say to you are going to sound stupid, but take a breath and take everything day by day, because you are only given what you can handle, as far as I understand.
Told me true. Find
And
someone
I
who
just
grows
think
flowers
people are
in the
stronger
darkest parts
than
of
they
you.
realize.
Take heed when things get hard, and don't
They
you
need
ever
to
turn
know
around.
that
You'll
they're
find
doing
someone
good.
someday somewhere
Somebody's
that
proud of
grows
them.
you to the clouds.
Keep going, you know. And
You walked me
that's
home that evening when
it.
I could barely walk,
What about you?
and you spoke to me so sweetly on the days I couldn't talk.
It's okay to be
Now I'm
vulnerable.
seeing clear. Told
It is
me
100%
true.
okay to
Find someone
feel
who
vulnerable,
grows
to be
flowers in the darkest parts of
Um,
you. Take heed when things get hard, and don't you ever turn around. You'll
um,
find someone someday somewhere
s-
that
um,
grows you.
like like it's okay to let out the those emotions. It's okay to do that. In fact, if you don't let it out, it's just gonna stay in this, and you're gonna hold
Hey,
on
thank
to that
you.
one emotion until you do let it out. And a lot of times it might not be the most constructive way to let it out. So whatever you're feeling, release it. Release it, express it the best way that you know how, and then just take a step back and approach the situation. And a lot of times you'll probably find out that it could, like the situation that you're feeling overwhelmed with, might have a simple solution.
I agree with both of you. I feel like I would probably tell someone a combination of the two. Uh, that and it's something, Tiger, that I've told my kids several times. It's perfectly okay to feel an emotion and to sit in the emotion, but don't stew in it. Feel it, give it 24 hours and then put it away and start a new day. And if you aren't able to do that, um, recognize that, you're going to be stewing in your emotions or you're going to be sweeping them under the rug, neither of which are healthy. What
Okay,
did,
let's say one more thing.
hmm?
Also, to let them know that they need to reach out when they need help, because they are not alone. There are
Yes,
so many people going through very similar situations, and they could have good advice on how to get through a
absolutely.
little less, you know, harmed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that was a big part of my healing was knowing when I needed to reach out and ask for help. What did keeping going really cost you, Davin? And was it worth it?
I don't know that it really cost me anything other than money. Um, I don't even know really how to. Yeah, can you come back to me?
Yeah, Tiger.
um, the only thing cost me were quite a few relationships that were in my life that I needed to let go anyway, to be honest. Again, so like again, I will always say you will find out who are really who's really on your side when you're kind of at your lowest and your darkest point. And the first thing that I will definitely recommend is make sure that you're the person that's first in line, that's on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's really where it's going to start with changing and getting out of those situations starts with you. Starts and it basically starts and ends with you in the sense where like if you're not willing to fight for yourself, nobody else is going to be willing to do so. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it was more. But yeah, the situation turned out to be more of like a spring cleaning process for me when it comes to like like my personal relationships.
I would have to agree. I think when you keep going in life through difficult things, the only thing it costs you is relationships that weren't meant to be or weren't meant to last or were
Yes.
only meant to teach you a lesson for that time period.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
otherwise, you're thriving. You're you're going. You're keeping everything moving. Anything you'd like to add?
I would definitely agree with the relationships, but also
You
certain
lost your
situations.
chance. You lost your chance,
Um,
Michelle.
I would say my pride
What? Yes, yes.
was the
What
cost.
do you mean by eating this fine
Being
piece of
in a
meat?
financial situation
Are you going to
where
eat me?
I had to
Michelle, did
utilize
you
such a
hook up
thing,
with
I know
somebody from
Sam.
the Michelle, did you hook up with
and
somebody from the app?
I didn't realize how much
Did you
pride I
meet a man?
had in not
Absolutely, a
having to
couple
do
of
that.
people on your big app.
So I really had to look
And
inwards on
Uh,
myself and, take my own inventory and be like, hey, this is what society has told you. This is the reality.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you both. This has been What It Really Takes. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern with a new topic each week. Today we talked about what survival really looks like behind closed doors. Not the polished version people post afterwards, but the real version. A huge thank you to Tiger Untamed and Davin Scorpion for being willing to have this conversation openly today. Davin, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself? And then Tiger,
Okay, I'm a Canadian streamer who tends to stream a lot with a streamer called Token Jewish. You can usually find us hanging out somewhere together. Um, and I've been trying to go on to people's shows to socialize better because that's one thing that all of that stuff has kind of made me even more of an introvert than I was. And so I'm forcing myself to come out of that, and I'm having a great time, honestly, doing it because some of the game shows have been really, really fun. Um, and this has been really great too. Like I've watched a few of your shows and it's been great. So
thanks.
um, I starting my little home business of beadwork, and that's about it.
And you're going to be in Emoji J's auction
Oh
July 4th.
yes, July 4th, Emoji J's auction.
Yes,
Yay!
Tiger Untamed.
Hey y'all, I'm Tiger and Tame, aka the lip sync assassin of all of streaming. That's what I'm calling myself at least. So a couple things I do have coming up. May 29th, I will be participating in a Phantom of the Opera auction hosted by Coach Vaughn.
Ooh.
And of course, I have some tricks up my sleeve when it comes to that.
I love
I am
Phantom of the
also
Opera.
in. I'm also in the July 4th Do Streamers auction,
Okay.
hosted by Emoji J. So I will be figuring that out. I might have a chick up there. But aside from that, Saturdays at 9 p.m. Is it 9 or 8? Hold on. I'm just getting back into the swing of things. I forgot what time my own thing on game show is. Token, help me out here. You run my show.
I know. I'm trying to think. I think it's 9.
I
Because
don't.
then it's 6 p.m. my time.
Let me see. But I thought it was about. It's right
Because on
before.
Saturday,
It's right before Chica's show. I just can't
if
remember.
it's right before Chica's show, then it's 8. Because she's
Okay,
at 9.
8 p.m. Eastern. Oh my gosh, I'm such a horrible game show host.
And it's
Hopefully,
fun.
I'm
I
available.
like your game. It's so much fun.
Guess the Bob guaranteed to be Music Trivia's most toxic game show because you get to sabotage each other instead of getting saved by your friends. But aside from that, I'm just kind of jumping in where I can get fit in. That's all I gotta say.
All right. To everyone listening, if you're in a difficult season right now, I hope you keep going. Not because struggle magically turns people into better humans. Sometimes struggle just hurts. But because your story is still moving, even if right now it feels heavy, and your story is worth being told. If you'd like to be a part of a future episode, contact me or Emoji J here or on Instagram. And remember, sometimes keeping going doesn't look brave. Sometimes it just looks like surviving another day, and that still counts. Thank you both for being here, and I will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.